Hello guys and welcome back to another After Effects tutorial here on Tuesdays for another Tutorial Tuesday. This is the first one in a little bit, first Tutorial Tuesday in a long time. I have been a little bit lacking in the tutorials, but I'm ready to get back into it. I'm going to show you guys how to make custom transitions in After Effects, and this is how I made the ending transition on No Boom's intro, and also on mine with the little block things coming up. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that using Alpha Mattes and Luma Mattes. And basically, you have all these awesome preset transitions in After Effects, but they are limited, and they get old after a while, and you see them in a lot of intros just because they're there and they're default. But I'm going to show you guys how to make your own ones that are totally customizable, and there's no limit to how crazy you can get with them. So anyways, let's go ahead and make a new comp here, call it Transition. And we'll make it 1920 by 1080, 60 frames per second. All that is good. And basically what we're going to be doing here is we will be making our transition with solids. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the transparency view here, so it's easier on the eyes. Basically what we're doing here is that everything that is black will be shown, but as soon as we start adding, hold on, I'm going to add a new solid here, Control Y. I'm gonna add a new solid and be white. But anything that we make white will be part of our transition. It will be I don't know how to explain it. Let me just give you an example. Alright, so that's our transition. There's no animation. But if we go back here and we put it on, and then our block is just there. If we go over here and do Luma Matte, Luma Matte inverted, you'll notice that wherever the white is, it's actually it's transparent. It doesn't exist, and that is what that's what will be transitioned. So if we put something behind, our intro, let's say some text, make some text here. This is not your intro! Exclamation point. So if we put that behind, it's not actually behind, it's actually in front right now. You'll notice that wherever we put our transition, it's not being, it's like cutting a hole in our intro. So there's something hiding behind it. Well, we're cutting a hole in our intro, and you're able to see what's behind it. We'll see that more if you have transparency enabled. So pretty much that is the that is essential of what a track matte is. It basically uses the transparency of one layer and applies it to another. Go ahead and get rid of that. So we're ready to start animating our custom transition. Right now we've got like a little block thing. I'm actually going to delete it, make a new solid, and I'm going to make this square. So I'm going to go maybe like, let's go 500 by 500. Make sure you uncheck lock aspect ratio to make sure you can change the size custom. And we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And we're going to scale this, but we want to keep the aspect ratio, so I'm going to hold Shift. I'll do that. And we're going to make it pretty small. I'm basically going to show you guys how to make the transition I have on my intro. And we're going to position it in the top left. You can align it perfectly by going to, you can show this align window by going to Window and then Align. It'll basically, it'll pop up with this little bit right here, and then you can go ahead and align it with the left and top edge. So there you go, it's perfectly aligned to the left and top edge. And basically what we're gonna do here is, if you saw my bounce text bounce to beat tutorial, we're basically gonna be doing something very similar. So we're gonna start our scale, and we're going to start out at 0. I'm going to keep 29.6 in mind. Alright, I'm going to start out at 0. And then I'm going to go a few frames ahead and go to 29.0. And then I'm going to go a little bit below 29.0. I'm going to go to maybe 26. And then I'm going to go the same number of frames ahead and go to 29.0, which was that's our target size that we wanted to end at. And basically, what that does, if you're a little bit lost, you can go check my bounce to beat tutorial. What that does is makes it do a little bounce thing, makes it come up and bounce. And you can see that right there. Let me zoom in actually. Boop. Alright, so it does that little bit right there. Actually, it's still not going quite to the edge, so I'm going to go ahead and make it 30, just to be safe. Or actually, even better, I'll just align it again. Align it to the top and left. Alright, so there you go. That is one block. Basically, we're going to be duplicating this block and offsetting its time each time we form a new row, and it will end up doing that kind of gradual wipe block transition thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the next row just to show you guys. So I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to offset it by maybe about where halfway is for our first block animation. And we'll go right here. Oh, I did caps lock. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it's full size by moving our playhead to where it's not bouncing. And we're going to move it over here. We're going to make sure it lines up correctly. Hold shift to keep it moving in one line. And there we go. So now what we have is this. It's just bounce, bounce. We're going to duplicate this again, but we're not going to offset it because we want this block right here to go off at the same time as the one we just did. So now if we align that, just zoom in to make sure we got it correctly. Align that perfectly with the edge. We can actually use the line menu to do it. And then we'll close the gap there. Alright, it's very precise work, but in the end it pays off. And now we have this. Boop boop. Looks kind of cool without being applied to an intro, but basically now what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate those two, but now we're moving to a new row. Oh, these two are offset by one. I'm just gonna move it up so they're together, best friends together forever. So basically we're going to get those two again. We're gonna offset it by the same amount. Let's find out how many frames it was in between. So page down 1, page down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, 17. I think it was 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And we will align those perfectly. Alright, cool. So now what we will do is we'll move to when they're fully expanded and done animating. And we'll go ahead and do this thing. And I'm doing them both at once just to make it a lot faster. If you didn't do them both at once, then you'd be in a whole world of pain. I'm going to make sure it's aligned to the edge. We can't actually use the line menu when we have multiple selected, otherwise it'll mess it up. But I'll do it by hand. There we go. So now all we have to do is duplicate one of these. And you'll see how it's kind of an exponential trend here with each row. We have another cube added. Not actually exponential, but you know what I'm saying here. And we'll do that. So I'll fast forward the rest of the making of this custom transition, and I will be doing the same thing over and over again, offsetting with each new row. So this was a row, this was a row, and this was a row, this was a row, and this was a row. This will be a row, and then so on and so forth until we get to the far corner here. So basically, I'm going to finish up with that boring stuff, and I'll see you guys when I am done. Alright guys, I am back, and I've gone ahead and done a little bit on the transition, but I want to mix it up a little bit and show you guys that it is fully customizable to whatever you want. So I did a good majority here. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up by Control A to select all the little cubes, and then I'm going to Control Shift C, or I'm going to right click and pre-compose. And I'm basically going to call this, let's call it left cubes. And we'll move all attributes in there. Alright, so now we've got this. Looks pretty good. Might be a little bit slow, but we can fix that later as always. And there we go. So that's half. But I'm gonna basically cheat a little bit here and resize it. So actually maybe not that much. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. So I'm gonna go ahead and align it. And basically what I am going to be doing is basically flipping this. I'm going to duplicate it, Control D, and I'm going to grab my rotate tool, and I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. I'm going to hit V on my keyboard again, do a selection tool, and we're going to align it to the opposite end. So now what we have is this. I think I might actually like this a little bit better. Notice how, oh no, it fills it up exactly. Wow, I think I got that pretty much to the T, you guys. I think I did it perfectly in the middle. I don't even know how that's possible. But at the end here, it's got this kind of like cool looking thing going on. I don't know. Like I said, it is fully customizable and you can do whatever sort of transition you want. But now that I've got this done, I can basically pre-compose those two together to make one final transition clip. I'm going to call this transition cube both sides. Alrighty, cool. Looks very, very cool in my opinion. I might actually just use this. And what's cool about these is you make it once and then you save the file. And you can use these transitions on any intro that you want. Just import, you can just render this out as video, black and white, and then you go ahead and save that video, and then you can plop it into any intro that you want to use it with, and or graphic design. I don't discriminate. Whatever you want to use this transition for, and you can just plop this in and use the transition. So you make it once, and you can use it whenever and for whatever you want. So it's really cool in that aspect. I might even just use this in a future intro. Who knows? But I do like it very much so. And you can go ahead and take this and rotate it and alter it and whatever tickles your fancy there. But ooh, did I go ahead and delete it? That was weird. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to time remap it. If you've never worked with time remapping before, it's basically like speeding up and slowing down footage at different intervals. So I'm going to find where it ends. I'm going to add a keyframe at that time. So now whenever I drag this, I'm basically moving the time so it stretches between these 2 points. So I want to stretch the beginning of my intro and the end of my intro. I want to squeeze that together so it happens faster. So now it looks a little something like this. So it goes a little bit faster, and now I can use this as an intro transition or whatever transition. Yet again, I don't discriminate, although intros are amazing. So there you go. That is your transition, and to show you that it works with our intro, we'll go ahead and drop in our transition thingy. Or did we name it? What did we name it? We named it, oh, transition both sides was our pre-comp, but after we finish time remapping it, it's in the composition of transition. So I'm going to use that. There it is. And basically, I'm going to move this to where I want it to start fading out. Right here. And you'll notice how it just kind of like, yeah. It just kind of goes over top right now, and it looks kind of lame. But if we go ahead and we'll get rid of transparency view, and we go ahead and do Luma, Luma matte, or Luma matte inverted. Wait, hold on. There, no. What's going on here? Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, I see what's going on. Alright, so we'll go Luma matte, inverted, and we'll disable, that's where it is. We'll disable the visibility on our transition. So we're getting rid of that white, otherwise the white just shows, you know? But if we disable that, we're able to see the transparency behind it, and life is good. So when you render it out as a video, it'll go like this, but the black represents the video behind it, or you could just use that as a regular transition between two clips. I'll just drag in, I don't know, another instance of it. You'll basically see that you can basically transition between two clips like that. You can use it as a transition between two clips, and so on and so forth. So you can do a whole bunch of stuff with Luma mattes, but right now it's kind of the end to an intro, so I'm going to move it to the end here, and we'll go ahead and RAM preview this as, yeah. I don't know, I think it looks kind of cool, and you can go ahead and add sound to it. I basically got the sound of a Minecraft player stepping on a stone block. It kind of sounds like, or no, not like that at all. But if you watch my intro, you can hear it's like the stepping on stone sound in Minecraft. And basically, I just played that back to back a whole bunch of times. What I did is I went to my transition, and I went all the way into where the cubes were, and I basically, where each one of these was, I put a clip underneath. So I would pretend that this is the sound. I would basically get the sound clip, pretend this is a sound clip, yet again, using our imagination. This is our sound clip, right? And I'd basically put one under each time a row went off. So I'd go over here, and I'd add the sound under this one, kind of like that. And then when I played it all back, it sounded like each row was setting off a sound of the stone being hit. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, there's that. So you can go ahead and do what you want with this. Like I said, you don't have to use this sort of transition. You can actually, let me just give another example. I'll do another comp and say transition 2. I'll make this one so really simple. Transition 2. Alright, and basically you can go ahead and add your white solid, and I'll go ahead and double click on the ellipse tool to make it a circle. And basically what you can do here is I'll just animate out of the top here, go position and scale. Alright, so I'll do that and that. I'll unlink those just for future reference. It'll start up here, it'll go down here. I'll make it go like that. I will keyframe once here, keyframe to position. Alright, we're good, and then I will move it a little bit down. Oh, I gotta move forward in time. I'll move it a little bit down, and I'll squash it. Oh, wrong way. I'll squash it to make it look like it's bouncing, and then I'll go up. Oh, I'll basically copy the first keyframe, and then I will apply scale. So right now it just kind of goes doink. Oh, it does it too early. Does it too early? Okay, so 100 there. Alright, so we'll go boink, boink. Looks kind of awkward. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Oh, wait, what? I'm really confused. Hold on. Let's go ahead and check the interpolation. Oh, gotta right click on the keyframe. Keyframe assistant. No. Keyframe interpolation. Alright, linear. Linear. Let's see if that helps. Yep, it did. Alright, cool. Keyframe interpolation for the win. Alright, so it does that. We're going to make that a little bit faster. Check it out. Doink. We'll make it bounce up. And then, yeah. I don't know, this is kind of just on the spot here, guys. We'll make it ease in. We'll go to the graph editor. We'll check it out. What does it look like? Alright, I'll basically make it ease in. Let's check that out. Can I change the incoming? There we go. It's basically how much of a it doesn't seem to be working. Let's try that again. Yeah, it's how much it eases in. That's what influences. So I'm gonna jack that up a little bit. There we go. See, it eases in. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna get out of the graph editor. I'm basically gonna squash this down. Oh, basically gonna squash this down, holding Alt and dragging the last keyframe. Okay, looking good. Bounce up. Squish it a little bit more. Select everything and squish it. Cool, cool. Alright. Sorry if this is a little bit tedious. I'm just figuring this out as we go. So right now it just kind of got that bouncing effect. And then we'll go here, and then we'll just add a keyframe to the scale, and it'll go down. Oh, go down on both. So let's go to about 95 on both. 95, and then we'll go full scale, so 1000. 1000, and we'll go 1000. So go that, and it'll go boink. So I don't know, just kind of a cool transition that I thought of on spot. What does it need? Could probably come down a little bit faster. Let's do that. Hold down Alt and click the last one to drag it together. Move these in maybe just a little bit, but I kind of can show you what you can do here. Kind of bounce and then go boink. I think it was cool. Took a little bit of work, but I'm happy with it. Check it out. Boink. Cool. Look, it came out pretty good. Oh, I won't save that. And now if we go back to our intro, we can go use this one instead. I'll add our transition 2. And let's find out where our intro or our transition starts happening. Or where it ends, more rather. Ends right about there, so that's where I'll end it. And then now we'll just do our Luma inverted. We'll get rid of the opacity on it. And now what we have is this. Go here and it'll go boink. Alright, so let's turn off the transparency. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Happens a little bit too fast. Let me move it forward. Cool. We can even add time remapping to this as well. And we'll find the end of our clip here. Find the end of our transition. And we'll make it go a little bit faster. So now what we have is this. So, kind of cool. It shows you the sort of, I don't know, sort of broad opportunity that this opens up, and you can do whatever you want as long as you can animate the solids to do that. I don't know, this was kind of a long tutorial, but I did want to show like all that this could do, and there's definitely a lot more you can do with this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this helped you guys, and I know I definitely use this technique a lot, and I hope that you guys do as well. And if this helped you, chances are it'll help your friends. So make sure you share this video, show it to your friends, your dog, your grandma, whatnot. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorial on next Tuesday. I should have a tutorial out next Tuesday. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then. Peace out. If you have transparency enabled. So pretty much that is the that is essential of what a track matte is. It basically uses the transparency of one layer and applies it to another. Go ahead and get rid of that. So we're ready to start animating our custom transition. Right now we've got like a little block thing. I'm actually going to delete it, make a new solid, and I'm going to make this square. So I'm going to go maybe like, let's go 500 by 500. Make sure you uncheck lock aspect ratio to make sure you can change the size custom. And we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And we're going to scale this, but we want to keep the aspect ratio, so I'm going to hold shift. I'll do that. And we're going to make it pretty... Hello guys and guys, welcome back to another After Effects tutorial here on Tuesdays for another Tutorial Tuesday. This is the first one in a little bit, first Tutorial Tuesday in a long time. I have been a little bit lacking in the tutorials, but I'm ready to get back into it. I'm going to show you guys how to make custom transitions in After Effects, and this is how I made the ending transition on No Boom's intro, and also on mine with the little block things coming up. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that using Alpha Mattes and Luma Mattes. And basically you have all these awesome preset transitions in After Effects, but that's what will be transitioned. So if we put something behind our intro, let's say some text, make some text here. This is not your intro! Exclamation point. So if we put that behind, it's not actually behind, it's actually in front right now. You'll notice that wherever we put our transition, it's not being, it's like cutting a hole in our intro. So there's something hiding behind it. Well, we're cutting a hole in our intro, and you're able to see what's behind it. We'll see that more adding. Hold on. I'm gonna add a new solid here, Control Y. I'm gonna add a new solid and be white. But anything that we make white will be part of our transition. It will be I don't know how to explain it. Let me just give you an example. Alright, so that's our transition. There's no animation. But if we go back here and we put it on, and then, you know, our block is just there. If we go over here and do Luma matte inverted, you'll notice that wherever the white is, it's actually it's transparent. It doesn't exist, and that is what they are limited, and they get old after a while, and you see them in a lot of intros just because they're there and they're default. But I'm gonna show you guys how to make your own ones that are totally customizable, and there's no limit to how crazy you can get with them. So anyways, let's go ahead and make a new comp here, call it transition, and we'll make it 1920 by 1080, 60 frames per second. All that is good. And basically what we're going to be doing here is we will be making our transition with solids, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off the transparency view here, so it's easier on the eyes. Basically what we're doing here is that everything that is black will be shown, but as soon as we start